kuharibia jina sisi, which was not right. Sahi Ruto anataka kuhold space ya nini? I appreciate that Kimuzi is so against it. I like that because there's nothing new and something different he will say. It's the same thing, and I hope we can get back to that point where we started this whole thing and the momentum was good. I hope we can get back there, and this time we don't stop until every single agenda have been done with. Ni hivyo tu.
Ivy, we can go to Sir Raxon. I don't know even if I pronounce properly.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I would like to start by saying may the souls of our fallen soldiers find peace and solace in eternity. May they not experience the harsh phase, another harsh phase like we're experiencing in Kenya today. And my heartfelt condolences to the families, to their families. Now, I will take 1 minute or two, at most two. In Africa, we have had many dictators over the time since independence. But the man I liken most to with ours is Mobutu Sese Seko, because of three things. One, Mobutu was very much impressed by the United States of America, being accorded state visits, all the things that he was showered with, and aid and all that. Two is how he was inept, stashing trash in his own pockets. And I say that purposely because I will never understand how a sensible person would accumulate incompetent leaders around himself while they have the opportunity to have the best. I mean, the country has the best. So you have a shop, badala uende kitu inaweza kusaidia, unarokota tu takataka kujiwekea kwa mfuko. And the third thing is how Mobutu put Congo, Zaire in the situation it is today. And he did that because he created a vacuum in leadership. How did he do that? Mobutu, as a general who overthrew a government, used to promote his generals without merit. So he killed all the trainings that are supposed to be disciplined. Now, my point was to drive to this third point, because he literally created a vacuum in the leadership of that country. And it is that reason that the Congo is in the state it is today. Now, this government is rotten on all fronts. If we don't focus on one objective at a time, the juggernaut of this revolution shall be dragging too much. It would be hard to make a step. That's obvious. Because the CSEs are not competent enough. We have MPs who cannot even alter one in the parliament, too corrupt. So we can have so many things to deal with that if we don't pick one thing at a time, we will lose focus and we will never achieve one thing. There's one thing that I want to point out outside the point that I was driving at, that the other countries in Africa are looking at us and to see what we're going to achieve from our demos and how mobilizing how we are. If we don't achieve our objectives right, then the other governments are going to suppress them too with the same tactics that ours is doing, and we will fail, and we will have also failed other countries. So my suggestion is, like the other speakers who have spoken before me, if we can have one objective, and it's not even weekly, we have the reconstitution of IBC, we pick on that objective and we push it to the last minute until it is achieved. There's one thing that I've read, I need someone who is vast enough need to clarify it, is that the IBC commissioners cannot hold elections unless they have served in the offices for 4 years. That means in one way or another, the government of today might extend the date of elections from 2027 to a later date, depending on the on the time these IBC commissioners have been put in office. So that's something that needs to be looked at and looked at it seriously. So in order to not have a vacuum in leadership, there's a need to have the IBC commissioners in place and in office. That should be our vocal point. That is our placards, all the recalcitrant groups anywhere that we are pushing. They need to have, this is the matter that we need to have resolved. And if we have other distractions, like we can have things are sensitive, like the salaries and all that, let them be discussed. But we stick with one thing, that we need the reconstitution of IBC so that we can never have at any moment in life a vacuum in leadership of this country. And that's my input. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We can go to Danny.
Thank you so much.
If
I'm
he's
here.
not
Yes,
there.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Go ahead.
for the space. First of all, I would like to pass my condolences to our fallen martyrs and also those who are sick and recuperating at the hospital. Quick recovery. Let me start by saying that revolution is not easy and it doesn't happen in a day. It happens gradually, step by step, and it takes time. And on that, I would like to say that I will urge us to handle one issue at a time as day by day pass by. First of all, reconstituting IBC is not only a priority, but it is an urgent necessity. We should start by pushing for that. And also, we recall these MPs. I would like to say that we push one agenda at a time. First of all, we push for reconstituting of the IBC. Then we can move to the next. We can even choose if it is recalling the MPs. We mobilize countrywide so that we do it together, like constituency by constituency, but we check on all of them. I would like us to refer to Article 1 of the Constitution that states clearly that the power is invested in people. We, the people of Kenya, we are the ones who have the power. We give these people, these MPs, power to represent us, but they go there, they misuse it. They dwell on their greed, corruption, and all sorts. So we should always remind them that we can take back the power we gave to them. We should not get tired. We elect one, akifanya mchezo tunamtoa, we put another one. With that, we will be able to put our memo clear that we don't want any corruption in this government. Something else I would like to point out is the DCI Kenya. The DCI Kenya actually, they have been abducting people. They have been, wamekuwa kishika, other than abduction, they have been arresting people, and these people are being charged. But I've not seen them arresting any rogue or any killer police cop so far. Actually, personally, I've been tagging them and even posting the images of those police officers who have been killing people. We have their images online, but I've not seen them doing anything about
Unamsikia
it.
Andy?
Sorry?
Sorry. Nani ameongea? Danny,
Okay.
go ahead. The rest kindly to mute mic.
Personally, I've not seen them arresting any rogue police officer or any killer cop so far. I've been tagging them and putting images of those cops, but we've not seen anything. But again, I urge us not to get tired of doing it until these police have been brought to book. Something else, the EACC is not doing their job well. They are going for this small fish, leaving the big fish. I think as we push for reforms, we should also keep the EACC on check. Imagine having someone working for Nairobi County government earning a salary of 50,000, but this person has property of over 300 million or almost coming to 1 billion. How? This is corruption. This is our money being looted. but these people, there's nothing being done to them. Reason being, hii pesa wanaiba wanakula na the likes of kina Sakaja and the president. Hii pesa wanagawana wote. So we should also push for this. We want accountability trickling down, starting from the president going down. The CSS, most of them are not which word should I use? Are not competent. There is a lot of incompetency with them. This is a point that most of us have raised it. CS Nakumecha and Mithika Linturi, if I can just mention a few, these people should start by going home immediately. Also, the CSS position should be abolished completely. There is a lot of wastage in this government. Ruto is awarding his sycophants at the expense of us Kenyans, creating even offices that are not supposed to be there. These offices should be abolished completely. We don't want to see them. Personally, I don't have a problem with paying tax, but my problem is how is this tax being used? A lot of wastage, a lot of spillage. We are seeing it in the government. We should also advocate for that. The judiciary system is working for the state. That is why justice is only being served to the few. We've seen justice to only those who have money. In Kenya, if you don't have money, you will not get any justice. That is the plain truth. The judiciary is working for the state. Reforms also, we want reforms on the judicial system. And by doing this, I would like to urge all the lawyers and advocates who are in the space, kindly, if you can enlighten us on some of the matters to do with the judicial system, so that at least we know how we are going to push for these reforms, we will really appreciate on that also. Corruption in Kenya is finishing us. I would like to point that even this KDF, you can't join KDF if you don't have 500,000 minimum. But then again, this as youths, most of our parents don't have the money. We've gone to school, tumesoma, we have certificates, but hii pesa utaitoa wapi so that you can join? So it keeps on going on and on day by day. We get that these people who are in the government, they are giving jobs to their people, nepotism at its best. Sisi youth tunabaki hatuna jobs, tunabaki we don't have any way forward. So by that, I would also like to urge us to be vigilant to this nepotism going on. We call them out so that we can stop it, at least so that even as youths, we can procure the jobs. At least if we apply jobs tujue tukona even 50% of chance of getting, because right now our percentage chance of getting the jobs, I can say it's even 0.1%, because inakuanga kwa gavani, do you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody? So you find most of us, we don't know that somebody who knows somebody. We end up remaining there. Or if it comes to kutoa do, we don't have the money, and we want to stop this thing of corruption so that at least the level field the playing field, equal levelized for all of us. Something else, the SHIF that was reconstituted from NHIF is just a money making scheme. Somebody on Twitter highlighted it. I think it was Nyakundi. Kindly, we should refer to the tweet so that those who are not enlightened on it, we should be enlightened on it. Court orders are not being followed in Kenya. Not at all. Live ammunition are still being used. Abduction are still going on. Police brutality is still going on. It is like they're showing us the middle finger, that attitude of we don't care. That is why I'm calling on all the advocates and the lawyers to enlighten us on which way forward to go. Last but not least, again, I'll remind us of the Article 1 of the Constitution. The power is invested in the people. We give them the power. If they don't use it well, we take it back. With those remarks, I would like to urge us not to relent, not to sichoke. We should not tire. Let us keep on pushing. We are not going to achieve this in a day or in a week or in a month, but as days goes by, as we push it harder, we will get where we want to get and we will reach where we want to reach. Thank you so much and have a good day.
Thank you. Next, we can go to Jay Njoroge.
Okay, thank you so
Jay,
much,
are you
Kimuzi. And hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity. I think it's the first time I'm getting this opportunity to speak on your space. So allow me, first of all, to send my condolences to all those people that lost their lives in this struggle. Yeah, let's make it worthwhile. Let us do it for them, at least not give up now. So I'll try to be as brief as possible so that I can highlight everything I wanted to highlight. Number one, there has been a lot of distractions, and this has been worrying me a lot because you can see that there have been even suppression of hashtags, the infightings. People are fighting amongst each other, and this makes me sad because we are being distracted from the objective. For example, right now we've been talking about how people are saying, okay, we have won. Some are saying that the finance bill was the key thing and it has been dropped. But even just stopping there and posing a question to us all, has this even gone through? Has it really been withdrawn? Because we know that the president has no legal mandate of executing that order that he gave of withdrawing. He has no legal mandate of doing that. So are we following up on that? Is anybody following up on that? Because we know that if nothing is done, as things stand, the bill will pass into law automatically. And I've personally taken the initiative of trying to contact some lawyers and members of parliament like Otiende Omolo, who is both a lawyer and a member of parliament. I asked him about the way forward, what is happening or what should be done. Maybe do we need another bill tabled to undo this or to officially withdraw this bill? I do not know. So as you can see, there are so many distractions, and maybe these distractions have been sponsored so that to derail us from our main goal. Number two, this is just a suggestion which I've also heard from other spaces. Maybe it would be prudent, if we are not already doing it, that we start taking memos. We have these minutes of these meetings we are having, because there have been a lot of good suggestions from people, and because so many people are speaking in these spaces, we cannot have everything that has been suggested in our mind. And so it would be prudent to be writing these things down. And so maybe if there is a new point that has been highlighted, then that one can be noted. We could be having maybe 2 people volunteering every single hour to do the minutes, and then after an hour is over, then other 2 take over, and then maybe they compare notes. We have 2 people because maybe if one has connection issues, the other one can actually record everything, and then they consolidate and come up with the action point. Then I've heard here about the need to be focused and just run with one agenda. And while I think this is sensible, I want to add something to that. If, for example, we say that, okay, we are now focusing on the reconstitution of IEBC. If we only focus on that, what will happen? What will happen with other things? And how long will this take? Because if we say, like, we will now maybe start pushing about the recalling of MPs once the IEBC has been reconstituted, how long will this take? So I think we can have one major theme, like maybe our main target for now is to have the IEBC reconstituted, but as that is going on, we can be doing other things, because, like, for example, the process of recalling MPs requires collection of signatures. So we can start with that, which is actually the most significant part of the recalling of the members of parliament, because collection of those signatures takes a considerable amount of time. But also we could be doing other things so that we have our main agenda, but even as we are doing that, even as maybe we are placing that hashtag of reconstitute IEBC, we are also pushing on other things like accountability in government, because I believe if we give this government a chance to breathe, if we relent on the pressure that we are putting, then this government will recollect itself, it will reorganize itself, and it will crash it. So the main agenda for me is to keep the pressure there. And there's another thing that I want to mention. I know that this whole issue of Ruto must go has been divisive, but please, let us not allow it to be a divisive issue. Let it not divide us. Of course, the reason as to why we are so angry is because of this failed government. And who is the object of this government? I mean, who is the head of this government? It is Ruto. And so our aggression and our anger, the object of our anger should remain the president. And whether we are looking at Ruto must go as a symbol or even literal, it doesn't matter. Whether you believe that maybe we should start with other things like reconstitute IEBC first and then do maybe another thing and then maybe later we come to Ruto, it doesn't matter. The point is we have to keep the pressure, and because we are angry with this government and Ruto is the face of this government, we must keep saying that Ruto must go, even as we push for other agenda in an orderly way, as we will agree. And I agree that we should be orderly, but let us not drop the hashtag Ruto must go. And while I'm saying that, I want also to urge those people here who have considerable number of followers. For some of us who have 1,000 followers and maybe others who have just a couple of hundreds, it is hard to make our voice heard. We are still doing it. We are still retweeting. We are still posting. But let those people who have also bigger audiences do it, and do it even more. Those who have 10,000, 50,000, hundreds of thousands, let us do this. Maybe we can have Ruto must to go as our overall hashtag that will be ongoing regardless of what we agree as our theme for the week. But that one has to be there, and we have to keep doing it. And then finally, because I know that there are so many things that have been said. Somebody called Joe Maria also mentioned about corruption, and he said that we should start it ourselves, and we should not maybe just assume that those that are in power, those that old people are the problem. Because remember that the most corrupt people, the likes of Mudavadi and Ruto, they were once young people like ourselves, like the millennials here and the Gen Zs. So it is a culture thing, and we have to start by ourselves. We cannot just assume that automatically all of us that are here will be upright and they will fight corruption on that. No, that will not happen unless we are deliberate and we start by ourselves. Like, for example, he gave an example of taking bribes and giving bribes to cops. So we cannot call and try to oversight a corrupt government if we are corrupt ourselves. So let us be deliberate about living right and being corrupt free. And even when maybe an incident like that of a police trying maybe to ask for a bribe from you and you refuse and you just decide to go ahead and take that court order and go to court and pay the whatever fine you pay, please just do that and post it online. It's not just for the likes or maybe for popularity, but that will inspire somebody to also live right. So as we advocate for an accountable government, let's also try to be accountable ourselves. And I know that when we do that, we will be making a lot of sense. And then finally, on civic education, I know we want even to recall parliaments because we are angry. And myself being a millennial, I've seen several elections. And in every election cycle, guys, every election cycle, people are as angry as we are right now. They are always angry, and they are always saying that we have to bring people, different people. But what happens? We still change people, but we don't change the character of the people. We elect different animals, but of the same character. We replace pigs with hyenas and wolves. When we are tired with a wolf, we exchange it with a pig. And so at the end of the day, we don't change anything. So this is my call, that we continue with civic education. Let us educate the population that it's not just the fact that your MP is on the ground. Si ati yako hapo anafanya kazi anawatengeneza hizo cheap barabaras and then you are happy. No. Try to educate them that being present on the ground is not enough. That representation is not the only thing that these MPs are entitled. Teach them about their jobs. Let them know that an MP has to represent he has to legislate, and he has to oversight. Right now, we have a current crop of MPs who do not even know their job. They were asked why they voted yes, despite their constituents telling them in very clear terms that they should reject the finance bill. And they told them that, okay, the president says that we vote yes, and the party position for UDS is for us voting yes. And so for that reason, we will vote yes, because we were voted in by UDA and all that. So they don't know their job. We have some MPs who cannot legislate. I mean, and I'm not exaggerating this. We know there are people who cannot even swear. Even reading that swearing statement in parliament, even in Swahili, they cannot string two sentences that are both grammatical and rational. But we expect these people to legislate. And now, this was not a problem. But I think right now, after Finance Bill 2024, I think the masses are appreciating. Jesus Christ.
So you can, Jay, I guess we'll come up. Milan, you can add no someone a request.
Okay, sorry guys, I disconnected.
Yeah, you had disconnected, but
Maybe you can. Okay, I was talking about our role in civic education and the fact that we want to recall MPs. I mean, what guarantees do we have that we will replace them with the right MPs? Because as I was saying, I'm a millennial and I've seen several elections, and we have anger about, in every election cycle, people are angry and they want to replace MPs. But in the end of the day, we don't have different people on the leadership. So maybe we can be aggressive on this thing of educating the masses on the roles of members of parliaments. There are members of parliaments who do not even know their roles. Like, for a good example is recently with the Financial Bill 2024, there were MPs who were saying that they will be voting yes, not because the members of their constituencies are for it, but just by the mere fact that UDA told them to vote yes. And they went ahead and did that. So that is not representing the people. Number two, the second role they have is to legislate. Some of these members of parliament, as much as that they are available on the ground, they cannot string two sentences that are both grammatical and rational. So how do you expect these people to make laws? How do you expect these people to legislate? And finally, we heard even from confession from other members of parliament that people were paid 2 million shillings so that they can vote yes. And yet, these are the MPs that we are expecting them to carry out the third role, which is to oversight the executive. So, as much as we want to recall these MPs, let us also look at the chances that exist of replacing these MPs with other MPs that are equally worse. So we can get serious with civic education, and I think we'll get somewhere. So that's all I had to say. Sorry for that disconnection, but thank you, Kimuzi, for giving me an opportunity to share this. So let's keep the fight going. Thank you.
So it's all right. Hannah Ali. Then from there we'll go to I something. Hannah, if you're ready.
Yes, thank you very much. Could you give me like 2 minutes? Can you put somebody else before me?
All right.
Thank you, sweet. Thanks.
IAB.
Hi.
And meanwhile, if you've spoken, kindly unaweza drop ndo tuweze kupea watu wengine. There are many requests. Thank you. IAB, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Andy and Kimuzi. Mine will be mostly to reiterate what other people have said. Echo J, what he said. But there are a few things I've been in other spaces and I've seen. There's a group out there. They say they've brought up a Google form where you can fill, and then it has groups that you can join where you are interested. I think that's one thing that we can do. The other thing, and I think I mentioned this to Kimuzi, is one, of course, reconstitute IEBC and make sure that we are not being imposed leaders. Let's not allow Ruto to choose for us who is going to be there in that IEBC. The other thing is, I think once we have the IEBC, whether we are going to do maybe work with the LSK to do the IEBC for us, that will be better. I want to assume that they are actually not corrupt. That's my assumption. The other thing is, once we do IEBC, I think maybe This one now, I think this goes to the lawyers, people who understand the law best, that maybe we can do a referendum, change the constitution in that we seal the loopholes that have allowed these people to actually rape the constitution. Because as you see today, they've done too much amendments to that constitution, so much so that whatever was promulgated in 2010 is no longer what is there today. And that is why you see all these stupid things that are going on with our leaders. So my point is, yes, we do IEBC, maybe do that hashtag, reconstitute IEBC. Our goal, of course, ultimate goal is to let Ruto must go, but IEBC, reconstitute, referendum, constitutional change. Then, of course, we remove all these leaders, and yeah, from there now we'll be good able to go. And then finally, for me, is civic education, civic education, civic education. Anywhere you are, any group you are, just say, just bring something out about enlightening people. WhatsApp groups za familia, ingia hapo, ongea. Somehow utasema zingine zitapita, zingine zitakataliwa, but the point is talk something about civic education so that people know, so that this rot that is in our society goes away once and for all. Thank you very much.
Who was Moitalel? Shadrach.
Should I go next if Shadrach is not there?
If he's not, ready, you can go ahead.
Okay, doesn't seem like he's there. Thank you guys for the space.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Kimuzi, Auntie, Dani, I think. Thank you for the space. Been listening. A lot of great submissions, but to me, to be honest, I'm not gonna tell anybody what to do, but whatever I'm saying, that is me. That's just how I see it. It doesn't have to necessarily go with what everybody or maybe the masses of submissions, a lot of submissions given here. First thing, like, tell me how that of all things that are happening now, that this members of parliament think it's okay to let Linturi get away with it. They've saved his skin. The committee, they voted to save him. In all this mess that is going on, for me, that's a slap on the face. I don't know for anybody else, over 7 MPs who were in the committee just decided that Linturi didn't do anything wrong. He's one of us. So we got to save him. With everything that is happening right now, I don't know if there's anybody in his right mind would have done that. So for me, it's as simple as that. Somebody saying that we need the IABC to be I don't know. Who am I asking to do that? Is it the same people who have got us to the mess that we are in? It's like asking somebody to do an exam and then tell him to mark your own exams. So if I'm doing an exam and then I'm asked to mark my own exams, then, well, we know what's going to happen. I'm going to give myself some, I'm going to rate myself. And now how am I going to rate myself? Definitely I won't fail myself. I'll make sure I don't fail because I'm marking my own exams. So this idea of saying Ruto has constituted IABC, for me, I'm sorry, it feels like you're asking somebody to to mark his own exams? Why does he have to be the one who has to institute it? I don't know. For me, it still remains Ruto must go. If anything that has happened today, um, anything that has happened, I mean, with this 7 MPs and letting Linturi go, then for me, I don't have faith in any of them. They're just politicians, and politicians are not to be trusted. So for me, it still remains Ruto must go. And I'm not concerned about who's going to replace Ruto, because for me, I want the system to deliver for Kenyans, the system to deliver for me, to deliver for the one in the village, to deliver for everybody else. So it doesn't matter who would come next and sit on that throne. If they're bad or they're good, the system won't let that person steal the public office. It wouldn't give them room to maneuver, to manipulate, to do any extortions. So for me, the bigger picture is if Ruto goes, yes, Ruto goes, then what? Then fix the system within. So that system provides for everybody has a different need. Maybe for some people, they need a road, a functioning road. Maybe some people need electricity. Maybe some people just need a hospital near them because they have to go miles for hospital. Maybe some villages just need a school. People have different issues, but collectively, a fixed system should be able to deliver for each and every Kenyan and the best way it can. And that system cannot be manipulated. That system will prevent people from stealing, corruption. That system would make it sufficient enough for everybody. No system is 100% perfect, but then it's not as corrupt as the system that we have now. So for me, it's the focus. Yes, Ruto must go. That is the starting point for me. The end point is where for me. The end point is Kenya that works for every Kenyan. I achieve that, then you have nothing to worry about. I don't have to worry about the generations to come. This system has been installed since independence, and every time part of it is being ripped apart, and now it's gone to a point that it's not functioning anymore. So, and this system, it's not there to provide for you and I. The system is there to actually provide for Western interests that actually find now Ruto to be the new kid on the block. It's there to benefit the Western countries, UK, US, whatever you want to name it. And this is nothing unique to Kenya, mind you. This is the whole of Africa, but Africa is waking up, and Kenya. This young generation, Gen Zs and millennials and all of them, they have waken something that everybody's been dreading. Where do we start? They've managed to achieve something that is beautiful, something that is gone viral, something admirable. And each and every African country, immediate neighbors are saying, why can we not do that? So for me, I don't know. I don't have much to say. All I can say is that there's nothing that comes easy. It's not going to be an easy journey. There's going to be a lot of hurdles. There's going to be a lot of misinformation. There's going to be a lot of sideshows. It's going to be chaos at times. But then as long as you can keep focus on the prize, focus on the end goal, where you're heading, what do you want to achieve, then I think we can venture forward. I hope we don't have as much as issues as we had last week. And hopefully we could get our country back where that the little kid whose parents are farmers, coffee farmers, but that kid has never tasted chocolate. Maybe that kid would be able to have chocolate made within Kenya, maybe have his parents on a better wage and him on a better school, and so on and so forth. Maybe we would not have to take our raw materials for it to be processed, and maybe we'd set the price for our raw materials, and maybe we don't have to ship the raw materials, we ship the end goods. That way people could benefit more. Thank you very much, Kimuzi, for the platform, and I yell my mic back to you.